Hello good people, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're planning to start working online, you're probably interested to know the kind of mistakes that experienced online workers make. And that is what I want to tell you in today's video. The first mistake that people make when they're trying to start working online is to think that they are a jack of all trades. Especially here in Kenya, not just online. We know brokers in the streets. You want a car, somebody knows how to get you a car. You want a house, somebody knows how to get you a house. You want to go on holiday, somebody knows the perfect destination for you. There's always that mentality that as long as there's the money, as long as there's money involved, you can do anything. Now, for you to make a career online, that is one notion that will cause you to fail faster than you've ever failed in your entire life. I know this for a fact that the people who've succeeded online are the people who are very professional and are very knowledgeable about their field. So for you to succeed online, for you to make this a business that can give you a livelihood and that can give you a comfortable life, one of the things that you must really note is sticking to your line of profession, enhancing your skills in that specific line, and then marketing your skills in that specific line. As I said in my previous video, as much as the world is so big, the internet has made the world a global village, which means that it is very easy for one customer to get information about what services you offer, how best you offer them, and how you deal with your clients. So if you want to succeed with this, then the best thing to do is narrow down your field of interest and become an expert in that field, such that if anyone wants anything of your field, then they can identify you as an expert of that specific field and entrust you with delivering to them something. So do not try to be a jack of all trades. I promise you that your reviews will be confused, your referrals will be confused, and that will mean that no client is willing to work with you because they will assume probably you're uneducated, probably you're a hustler, you're just trying to find a way of making money. So be sure to identify your best skills and work with them online. The second mistake that can cost your online career is missing deadlines. Or I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, that working online means that you're exposed to a society greater than your town, greater than your city, greater than your country. You're working with people worldwide. We know that there's time difference all around the world. And some places, especially in first world countries or in countries where they have greater economies, time is of essence in everything they do. For example, I'm a freelance writer. Some of the articles I'm writing, I'm given deadlines because they need to be prepared to end up as publications in magazines, in different corporate websites, and such like places. If I miss my deadline, that means that there is possibly a space that has missed an article in a magazine somewhere, or there's a post that was being relied on to give information to clients of a specific company that has gone missing because I have not delivered my work in time. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you lack time management, you might cause a chain of reactions, which mean that in future, should anyone want to give you a business, they will not be able to give you that business because they cannot trust that their business will go through without any hiccups. And this is just not in freelance writing. This applies to architecture, it applies to illustrations, it applies to designers, it applies to musicians, voiceover artists, people like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is many businesses on earth, whether online, whether offline, they are very keen in observing time. I'm sure you've heard the saying that time is money. When you work online, this is something that you're likely to notice very quickly. The third thing that might cost you your online career is misusing or misrepresenting your portfolio. Now, many people who work online have an online portfolio where clients can go to look at their work and confirm that this is a person or persons who are able to deliver exactly what they require. For freelance writers, that portfolio could be a blog or a website where you showcase your work. For photographers, it could also be a website. Same to architects, same to voiceover artists who usually have podcasts. You can misrepresent or misuse this site by contradicting information. If you're going to have a portfolio that should represent your work as a photographer, then it is important you maintain your portfolio purely on photography. You cannot be doing photography today and tomorrow you decide that you're going to do music videos on your photography portfolio. You cannot have a voiceover artist's portfolio and you decide to mix it up with being a painter, for example. If you want to target a specific audience with your portfolio, then it is important that you create your portfolio in such a way that it shows you as an expert of that specific field. What happens when you mix up things is it becomes very difficult for a client to see your focus, or very difficult for a client to identify with your strengths. If, for example, you want to have a photography portfolio and at the same time have a voiceover portfolio, it is important that you separate these two very clearly in a way that a third party can look at it and know that these are two different skill sets. However, there are skill sets that can be combined. For example, a freelance writer can also be a freelance photographer, mainly because if you're going to write, for example, an article for a magazine, you might as well be able to take an image that can back up your work. If, for example, you're a photographer, you might as well be an artist because it is something that falls within the same line. It's the same as going to a marketplace and finding that the woman who sells tomatoes is the same woman who sells pineapples. It can work, yeah? It will, however, be very awkward and strange if you walk into a chips den and find that they not only sell fries, but they also sell high-end fashion products, for example, dresses or shoes or makeup products or something like that. Those are two entities that cannot be mixed. So be very wise about how you present your portfolio and what you put in your portfolio. The fourth thing, and this is debatable, that can cost you your online career is being too friendly with a client. Now, we all know that most of the times when you're working online, these are people that you haven't met face to face. Yes, they're people who you're just beginning to know or who you're building their trust. And as long as they continue being an online relationship, there are boundaries that cannot really be crossed. You know, you don't know who they are. They don't know who you are. We all know that online you only show people what you want them to see. So they might not be able to read into your character or to read into your objective or what you're up to. Same to you, you're not able to read what they're up to. So sometimes when you cross these lines, for example, you're dealing with a CEO of a company or a personal assistant to the management of a corporate company, these are people who like to maintain some level of professionalism and some level of official interaction. So if you go out of your way and decide that you're going to send them, for example, forwards, memes, I don't know what we call them, but if you're going to start sending this to them, they're going to look at you with a very different perspective, which might actually cost you the business. So be very keen. How close and how comfortable do you get with your clients? And do you know their boundaries? Do you know just how far you can go when you're communicating to them? Have they allowed you to cross between the official kind of communication and the social kind of communication? Be very keen when you're crossing those lines. It might actually cost you some business. We have the tendency of pushing clients with an end goal of getting the check, don't we? So sometimes you have your own personal interests when you're dealing with a client. You want to close the deal so that you may work on it fast enough so that you're able to meet the deadline, so that your money comes in immediately at the end of the month. This is influenced by a lot of things, especially here in Kenya, where we pay our rent and our bills at the end of every month. You might end up pushing your client because maybe you do not have enough money to maybe fund your next rent or to fund a bill that you need to take care of, and you end up pushing your client to give you this job so that you may meet the deadline. Most times it doesn't work really, because people who work online, they know when they are giving out money and they will not compromise on their standards for you to be able to meet your deadlines. What happens at the end of the day is the trust level goes down with this kind of relationship, and that means that these people will not entrust you with their work, and they can easily read that your intention is money. Even when you're working with that kind of pressure, you usually end up making so many mistakes and doing work over and over again, because no client will accept work that has just been done shoddily because you have a deadline to meet. So you need to be very careful how you deal with clients. Do not push them. Do not make it so obvious that your end goal is money. In fact, most of the people who make it online are people who show their clients that they are passionate about what they are doing and they love what they are doing. Money is just an end product of that. And I think that's the right way to go. We all know that they say if you find something you love, you never have to work a day in your life. Make sure you're in sync with what you're doing so that the kind of energy that is portrayed to your client online is that of someone who loves their job and who gets money out of their job, not a person who works to get money. So finally, the last point that might affect your online career is spending all the money as it comes. What I mean by utilizing all the money you have is immediately your money is released, you use up that money without considering a budget, without considering your responsibilities. I did have a struggle with this at first. Anytime money came, I'd already planned for it. I want to make my hair, I want to go on holiday, I want to take myself for dinner, I want to hook up with my friends, and you want to just dish out money as it comes. Now, this is something most of us are not quite elite on financial management, I myself included. So sometimes you get money and you're very quick to use it. And as I said in my previous point, this will lead you to pressuring clients at the end of the month because you want to meet your own needs. You want to meet your own needs. You want to take care of your own bills. So before you use your money just because you're paid before anyone else, it is important that you actually budget. And I know for a fact that this is something that can cost you clients, which means it can cost you your online career. Let me know in the comment section if you've learned something new from this video. Also, let me know if I've missed out something that can actually affect your working career. Until my next video, goodbye.